Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at gcnlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
I just thought I'd wait a couple extra seconds. Everyone all set? Cocked? Locked? Here we go. Your dial set correctly to USAPrepares.com. We're delighted you're here. We're broadcasting from high atop the Missouri Ozark Mountains for 2 hours today. And then this afternoon, we're going to do another 2 hours. Yep. And if you'd like to call us, we'll pay for the call. I've got the call screen right in front of me here at the studio in Missouri, 866-582-9933, 866-582-9933. Repeat, 866-582-9933. And there's a link to all of your instructors on the website, USAPREPARES.com. Converging threats are confronted daily by your instructors. I'm Vincent Finelli. John is engineering the broadcast, and John Regan, Captain John Regan's with us in Texas. Welcome, Captain John Regan.
Good morning, Vincent.
Hey, John, thanks so much for filling in for me yesterday, sitting in in this seat and doing 2 hours of live radio with plenty of notice, right?
And no parachute.
Yeah. I was invited to be on another broadcast, and you think that all broadcasts are live and all the calls are live, and I'm not speaking of any particular. Well, yeah, I will. I'll talk about Car Talk that was on National Public Radio, and years ago we had a problem with one of our General Motors 6.5 turbo diesel trucks. Actually, we had three of them. We had a Suburban 6.5 turbo diesel and two full-size Blazer 1500s that had a 6.5 turbo diesel. And there were only about 500 of those Blazers made. And what would happen is you drive along and the engine would quit. And when the engine quits, you lose power steering instantly. And you have one chance to stop. If you tap the brake pedal once and then try to use it again, you don't have power brakes anymore. So it's a really dangerous situation. So I called General Motors, and they said, nope, just you. I said, wait a minute, I got three of them, and they're all doing it. And I went to the dealer, and they said, yeah, they do it. This is what they do. So General Motors decided that they were just going to tell everybody that, no, it's just you. You're the only one that has this problem. But unfortunately for General Motors, we had three of them. And they did it. And they were all 1994 models. Well, I decided to call Car Talk, on National Public Radio. And so I dialed them during their broadcast. And what I found out was when you call them, they call you back. And then they schedule the interview. And then they put the pieces together and make a live, what appears to be a live broadcast out of it. So what I'm saying is if you listen to Car Talk and it sounds, wow, these guys are flawless. They're brilliant. How do they do it? And they do it with electronics. They take the pieces of interviews and put them together, and it sounds like live radio with live callers. And you wonder, how do these guys know so much about, different problems with cars? Well, they manufacture the broadcast. So I just wanted to share that with those of you who listen to radio and wonder how come some broadcasts seem so absolutely flawless and others like ours is at the opposite end of the spectrum. So John, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, I tried to keep it a little bit on the light side. I don't have as many articles as I normally post for a show. After all, it is Good Friday. I didn't want to make a Good Grief Friday.
Oh, wait a minute! I better check the list. As a raised Catholic, I should be doing a few things, and I better check the list. I'm not being sacrilegious. I just better check the list. Interesting thing about that, John. I've mentioned that maybe we don't need to participate in an organized church with organized donations. And I mentioned that wouldn't it be nice if we went to our priest or our minister, our rabbi, whatever it is, that whoever our broker is, and we say, look, I've been following your message of helping others, and I want to do that. So let's help our membership, our parish. And here's what I'm going to do: instead of giving money to the church, Father, I'm going to buy some seeds and give them to the members, and I'm going to start a seed militia, a gardening militia, and I'm going to teach our membership, our parish, about growing a really good survival garden, so that they'll be around. And I know, Father, you want us to do that and help others. So about those donations, they're not coming from me anymore. I'm going to help other people, as you would want me to. And I'd like to know what, so if any of you happen to do that, I'd love to know what the reaction is. Passing the plate, and when you pass the plate, you kind of bypass putting anything in there. Back to you, John Regan.
Yeah, yesterday I had planned on calling in because I've got a few questions for Dr. Richard Allen Miller, right. And I know that he doesn't know a whole lot because, as he'll say, is that the real information's above his pay grade.
Mm-hmm, right.
And if what he shared had come from just about anybody else, I probably wouldn't pay any attention to it. I was not an intelligence officer, but because of the clearance I had for the nuclear planning system, I got to know some intelligence type people. And just because something is intelligence doesn't mean that it's accurate. You have to judge the intelligence sources and what the intelligence is. And in that vein, I look at what Dr. Miller's given us, and I have to treat it like it's good intel. I don't believe Rick is trying to lie to us. On the other hand, I look at the games that our government plays, and I can't be sure that they aren't using Rick as an agent of disinformation. So when I put this in my whole scheme of things, it doesn't really change very much what I talk about in the area of preparedness. It doesn't change the fact that we're going to have a financial collapse. And we're, like I say, from what I'm seeing, it looks like we've already unhitched. Exactly how long that run-up takes, like I say, history says about 3 years. And unless I say something to the contrary, that's what I'm sticking to. We've got.
Right, let me see if I understand what you're saying. You're saying that you're holding true to your plan to prepare for everything. And whether it be the financial collapse, which is coming, there's no doubt in my mind about that. Whether it be a coronal mass ejection, that's coming. We just don't know when. We're talking about a grid down situation or a partial grid down situation. So we've seen these partial grid down situations. We've seen for 4 decades at least, during our lives, that there've been massive power outages that affected like the Northeast. We've seen that, so we know that that's possible. We've seen a gasoline and diesel fuel shortage with the Arab oil embargo of decades ago, and we know what gas lines are like when they're maybe 3 hours long to buy $3 worth of gasoline. We know what that's like. We know what shortages are like when a storm is coming. The Chinese factory outlet and other supermarkets are out of toilet paper, milk, and bread. We see panic buying, and we know that there's manufactured evidence by the government. We know that there's geoengineering. All you have to do is look up. We know that the weather is out of control and it's not normal, but it used to be. It used to be very regular. You could buy the Farmer's Almanac and you would know well over a year in advance what the weather was going to be like on any particular day. You'd know when to plant. Now we don't know. We can't even believe the talking, smiling, good-looking people who are the readers, the teleprompter readers on the television. So I guess what you're saying is no matter what, and Rick's talking about an ice age coming, a rapid ice age, the day after tomorrow type scenario. I think what you're saying is no matter what, you're going to prepare for everything, no change. Is that correct?
Well, there are a few changes, and actually some of it's good news, because the thing is with the ice age, you have to evacuate either to go south or to go down. Uh-huh. Because he was saying he would expect an 8-foot frost line in Missouri, which means you have to have shelter 10 feet down for 2 or 3 weeks to get past that. Mm-hmm. Now, you either have to build that, which has some expense, or you need to have access to something like a cave or a mine where you can be underground for that. Mm-hmm. So that would be something that you would need to roll into your plan. The thing is, afterwards, there's actually some neat things about it. One, you have got a lifetime supply of firewood you don't have to season because the trees are dead. Mm-hmm. It gets rid of all the ticks up there. and tick-borne diseases are a big thing. Gets rid of a
lot of things. Hey, Rick's thoughts get rid of a lot of things, John, because I was talking to Mrs. Finelli about this, and it's going to get rid of our entire herd of cows. All of them. And it's going to get rid of the deer, and the rabbits, and the birds, and just about everything else that's walking around on the surface of the earth. So it's a very frightening thing, and I've got a lot of questions for Rick, and I'd like to ask him these questions before we start a panic, and I don't want to start a panic. So I've got a lot of questions, and we're going to talk about it next week, next Thursday. John Regan, I'll be right back. I'm Vincent Finelli of USAPrepares.com. As most of you know, I broadcast weekday mornings on GCN from 9 to 11. And I'm also a full-time farmer. Add to that mix the weekly meetups and the Get Prepared Expo, and this combination makes for a demanding schedule. On the farm, we raise grass-fed Black Angus cattle and provide them with the best variety of summer and fall grasses available. Our cattle are exposed to the extremes of weather, the toxins in the air, and the electromagnetic radiation that's all around us. So even the best grasses and food that we provide are not enough. Our cattle require minerals and supplements for strong health and resistance to disease. And so do we. For these reasons, my mother, our children, Mrs. Finelli, and I all take Longevity, Beyond Tangy Tangerine, De-Stress, Glucogel, and EFA+. USAPreparesTeam.com. And thank you for being in class today.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
John, I'm going to tell you a funny story. Yesterday I got a call. I was in the studio, and I got a call from the satellite company, from the owner of the satellite company, and he's very concerned. And his name is Todd. So Todd called me from the other side of the country, and he said, "I missed a call from you." I'm like, is something wrong? And I said, well, I don't think so. Because if there were, I probably would have known about it, because I'm on the committee. I'm on the committee that would know of something that was wrong with the satellite. Since there's only me at USA Prepares, and my wife helps me. But other than that, it's just, I'm the committee. And he said, "Oh, good," because he thought something was wrong. He thought we were going to cancel the service or something. And so he was saying something very interesting. And John, I don't know if you know this, but USA Prepares broadcasts on there are 12 different ways you can listen to USA Prepares that I know of. 12 different ways. Now, it's not just 12 outlets. There's just 12 different ways. And there are many, many outlets, way many more than 12. So he said that when there's a problem with the satellite feed of Hotbird is a huge satellite over Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. And he says when there's a problem, he immediately gets contacted. I didn't realize that we had so many students in Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. And he says that there is nothing, they say, in that part of the world, there is nothing like this broadcast. Nothing like it. So Alex Jones is on that same satellite with us, and there are a few others. And I don't know all the others, but I do know that we're there and Alex Jones is there. And when something happens, they immediately contact the satellite communications company and say, get it back right away, because we're missing the broadcast. I didn't know that. But class, here's what I just did some short notes of how to listen to us. We're on AM radio stations. I'm just talking about USA Prepares right now. We're on AM radio stations, FM radio stations, of course, satellite over the United States, Canada, and Central America, and then satellite over Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East. Genesis Communications Network, Republic Broadcasting Network, Liberty News Network. Then we're Ron Gibson picks up the broadcast every day and puts it on YouTube. Then we have 4 telephone listen lines. We have 4 telephone listen lines. We have podcasts, downloads, and then there are micro broadcasts. And those are people who have purchased AM and FM transmitters, and they'll pick up this broadcast off the internet or satellite, free-to-air satellite, and they will rebroadcast it over their own personal equipment, low-power equipment. So those are the ways that I know that you can listen to USA Prepares. I am absolutely stunned and humbled by all of that. I really am. So, John, I wanted to share with you that there are a lot of people who are listening to what you're saying.
Have you thought about carrier pigeon for when the grid's down?
Well, actually, I do have a solution for when the grid's down. During those kinds of emergencies, I certainly have no problem using a ham rig that will reach around the world. And I have one. I have a ham rig right here in the studio, and I can fire that thing up and we can broadcast around the world. Now, you can't use ham rig for commercial purposes. So in that case, it won't be for commercial purposes. We won't have any advertisers. It will be just information going outbound, and I have no problem using that. And, with grid down situation, what's the FCC going to do if we're providing information about what's happening and what to do, and news and those kinds of things. I think they'd actually appreciate it. So that is a serious consideration. Of course, people will be using Citizens Band radio to communicate among each other, and I suggest that if you don't have a radio that will pick up Citizens Band, that you consider getting one. Let's take a few minutes when we come back, and I'll tell you why Citizens Band seems to make sense to me for an inexpensive solution to find out what's happening in your neck of the woods. Captain John Regan's with us, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com, thefinancialstateoftheunion.com. I'm Vincent Finelli. And go to the financialstateoftheunion.com and click on the news tab, and you'll be able to follow along with us. We'll be right back.
Ouch! My back is out again.
Hi, Dr. Ortman with Wellspring Spinal Care. If you're experiencing neck, mid, or lower back pain, this information is for you. One of the complaints that I hear is patients receive their typical adjustment, only having to repeat them as the pain returns. Putting the bones back in place is only half of the battle. At Wellspring Spinal Care, we have the entire solution. We use the NUCA approach, utilizing three-dimensional x-rays and gentle touch technology to deliver specific correction. We then design a custom nutritional supplement program which provides essential nutrients targeting the areas of concern. With a NUCA approach and proper nutrition, you'll be on your way to a faster and more permanent recovery. To get you on the road to wellness, visit drortman.com. That's drortman.com, or call us today, 952-303-9124. That's 952-303-9124. Wellspring Spinal Care, chiropractic done right.
By now, you may have heard a bit about Bitcoins, but did you know Bitcoins are now over an $8.5 billion market? And did you know that over 65,000 businesses now accept Bitcoins? Listen, if you're already earning Bitcoins or trying to make money in the Bitcoin market, you've got to know bidbit.co. Why? Because bidbit.co is where you can easily receive Bitcoins by selling and auctioning off your own personal items or promote business products and services for Bitcoins. You heard right. Whether personal or business, you can now buy, sell, and auction your products and services quickly, easily, and securely for Bitcoin at bidbit.co, the first and only marketplace website to offer BidBit Escrow, a proprietary technology which gives buyers and sellers security and peace of mind because all transactions are protected. Start today. It's free to join, free to post, free to auction, and free to bid at bidbit.co. Buy, sell, bid, or auction everything Bitcoin. That's www.bidbit.co, bidbit.co.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
Yeah, I've got some homework to do over the weekend. I'm going to create some new commercials, and that's my assignment for this weekend. So Citizens Band Radio was established for walkie-talkie use, handheld use in the late 1940s. And I got my Citizens Band license in the 1960s. You had to actually have a license to have a Citizens Band Radio back then. Then in the 1970s, actually 1973, there was this Arab oil embargo. And because of that, there was a gasoline and diesel fuel shortage, and the government said, okay, that's it. 65 mile an hour speed limits, we're going to reduce them to 55. And that was a boon for the municipalities, because they would set up these speed traps. So 55 mile an hour speed limits, and the truckers were used to going 60, 65, 70. Well, the police had a field day with this. So they were giving people tickets like crazy, and the truckers had it, absolutely frosted about it. And so they used these Citizens Band radios to communicate with each other. And they'd say, at this mile marker, there's a speed trap. And so truckers would be going east and west, communicating with each other. And they're saying, hey, if you're traveling northbound or southbound or eastbound or westbound, at this mile marker, there's a, speed trap. And, so it became very, very popular. Now, originally there were 23 channels, but in 1977, 40 channels were made available. And channel number 19 became the Truckers Channel. Citizens Band Radio is a low-powered system, and there's it's limited to 5 watts of input power. And because of that, it's low power, and it would travel maybe 2 to 10 miles, depending on terrain. So the reason I'm talking about this is because in a grid down situation, you can run a CB radio, a mobile type CB radio, that kind that you'd have in your car under the dash or something like that. It runs on 12 volts. And you can get one of those, and you can get an antenna that's a ground plane antenna on your home, and you'll be able to communicate farther. And what you can do is listen into the traffic. You can listen to the truckers. So if there's a grid down situation, there'll still be some kind of commerce, and there'll be truckers, and they'll be talking back and forth, and they'll say, here's what's happening in Kansas City, here's what's happening in St. Louis, here's what's happening ahead, there's checkpoint, there's FEMA, there's martial law, there's those kinds of things going on, and here's where it's happening, and you'll be able to listen to that. Because would you really want to depend on the national radio system? The emergency broadcast system to tell you what's going on? Not me. I don't trust those guys at all. So I'm interested in Citizens Band Radio, and yes, do I have one? Yeah, I do. Okay, so you might want to consider that, and you can pick them up on eBay for less than $100 typically. And you want to get one that, in my opinion, that is a 12 volt and AC type. And you can always hook it up to a car battery and listen for what's happening. Just my thoughts. John Regan, do you have a thought on that?
Not really. I understand the desire to communicate afterwards, but depending on the scenario,
yep.
I really wonder about the helpfulness, because if we're in a post-EMP type environment, we're going to be so busy just trying to take care of our homestead that it's going to be difficult just to communicate with other people that manage to prepare enough to have a working radio. And if we end up in that police state environment, then to broadcast is to give away your location. So that's the reason that I don't go heavy into those areas.
Okay. Well, for those who are interested, you can certainly listen in. You may not want to key that microphone, as John Regan mentioned, but you may want to listen into what others are saying. And that is the principal point of what I was discussing. Listen in, gather information, because there will be an absence of a lot of information. We won't know what's going on. So if you think about, how many of us are news hounds, and how many of us read the internet like nonstop if we could, right? We're interested in up to the minute information. Well, imagine if all that gets turned off. So I'm just trying to illustrate a way that we can still get some information about what's happening. And most of it would be local information, within a 100-mile radius. And some of it will be transmitted from truck driver to truck driver to truck driver to truck driver. We might have it, the 11th version down, which may not be accurate. but at least there'll be some communication and you can listen in. So with a walkie-talkie, with a base station or a mobile station with a ground plane antenna on your home, that might be a great way to go. Just my 2 cents worth.
And just so you know what I have one of those wind-up multi-band radios.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need a power source. It's the fun wind-up type.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got that packed in its box, wrapped in aluminum foil, so it's got its own Faraday cage.
And John, I'm glad you mentioned that, because we were at the farmhouse, and I was telling some people at the kitchen table about cell phone transmission. So what I did was I said, we think that our microwave ovens are a Faraday cage. So I took my cell phone, the one that Mrs. Finelli and I share that we don't like carrying with us, and I put it in the microwave oven. Now, of course, I did not turn the microwave oven on because I would blow up the cell phone. And I called it from the landline in the microwave oven. So I called the cell phone, which was sitting in the microwave oven, from a landline in the kitchen, and we could watch it ring. You could see the cell phone ring inside the microwave oven. So if you think your microwave oven is a Faraday cage, I'm here to tell you, it's not so good as a Faraday cage. So then what I did was I wrapped the cell phone in just one piece of aluminum foil, covered it, wrapped it like a package, like a Christmas package, and I made sure that I overlapped the seam with about an inch of aluminum foil so the signal could not get through the wrapping of the aluminum foil. And I called it, and it did not ring. Okay? It did not ring. But if you have a slight rip in that aluminum foil, the signal can reach the phone, and you can call it. So what you need to do is completely wrap your phone. Now, why am I saying this? Because the question was, what about money? Well, not money. Federal Reserve notes with those magnetic stripes, and some people believe that they can be picked up. They can read how much is in your wallet by the stripes on some of the currency. Well, I would suggest that if you're concerned about that, if you're concerned about being pulled over and the authorities, the other team, having equipment that can read how much money you have on you, like, what are you doing with $4,000, boy? That kind of thing. If you're worried about that in cash, wrap it in aluminum foil. Okay, because I proved right here in the kitchen that aluminum foil will prevent a phone from ringing and a phone from transmitting and receiving. I proved it. And I also proved that a microwave oven does not prevent a phone from communicating. So if you're concerned about that, wrap your currency with those magnetic stripes, those Federal Reserve notes with the 100 on them, the 100. Wrap them in aluminum foil if you're concerned about it. So that's just what I proved right here at the farm. Back to you.
Okay. I'm not going to lead off with spy tech and control because I do want to get to the rest of the items.
Okay.
I'll start off with health. I've got an article, OD on Tea. And there's an Arkansas man that had kidney failure from drinking basically a gallon of iced tea a day. And it's just one of those things that, if you do that occasionally, it's not going to harm you. But there are so many habits we have that we basically do more than what our bodies can take care of. And unfortunately for this guy, he's probably going to have to spend the rest of his life, going to dialysis. And if he wanted to live past the coming event, especially if it's the grid down EMP type, I don't have a good answer for the people that have to live on a dialysis machine. Vincent?
There is no solution that I know of that, because if there were, we wouldn't need dialysis machines. So this is a really, really important point. And let's think about this on many levels, John. So this person drinks too much tea, overdoses, damages his kidneys, right? What else are we doing to damage our bodies? Well, obviously we're drinking fluoride. And one of the things that you can talk about or we can think about with fluoride is, where is it? It's everywhere. So if you have a candy bar that's made made in a factory that's in a city that uses fluoridated water, you're getting fluoride in your candy bar. Your soup, your tomato soup, your vegetable soup, your minestrone. If you boil spaghetti, pasta, in one of those large 5, 6, 7 quart pots, and you take water out of the tap and you live in a municipality that has fluoride, which most do, you are poisoning yourself. So we need to make sure that we don't poison ourselves, because on the other side, as things continue to spiral down, we are going to need to have our health, because just going to the doctor, it's going to be tough. Because how do we get to the doctor, for one thing? And will the doctor be able to get to wherever the doctor spends his time while on duty? Is that possible? I'm talking about the doctor's office. When there's a grid down situation, when there's a supply chain problem, when there's social chaos, doctors are going to say, listen, I can't go and get beat up. I need my hands to do my job. I'm not going to risk it. I'm going to stay home and protect my family.
And
how do I know this?
That, they won't have x-ray machines. They won't have the lab tests. The pharmaceuticals won't be there. So maybe you can get a diagnosis, but treatment's a whole nother matter.
That's exactly right. So you really need to stay as healthy as you possibly can. You really do. So that means avoid drugs. And, if you don't need these pharmaceutical drugs, that's wonderful. And when Dr. Shealy's on with us, we talk about how to get off them. Because how are you going to get them in the future? How are you going to get them? There are a lot of people who have, this is going to be hard to say. There are a lot of people who are on a 30-day life extension plan. They get 30-day supply of life support medicine. Think about that. Are you stocking up?
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 877-345-7645. That's 877-345-7645. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately at 1-877-345-7645. That's 1-877-345-7645. 1-877-345-7645.
The polar vortex is here and expected to freeze over part of the U.S. Help is needed. Resources are often drained by people capable of caring for themselves, leaving those with the greatest needs to go without. Do your part by being prepared this winter. A supply of Go Foods will provide delicious nutrition, comfort, and security during hard times. Protect your community and call Go Foods at 1-800-648-9753 or on the web at www.storefoodnow.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237. Making the right decisions is a challenge to investors. Are we going to see economic growth, slide into a recession, or at worst, depression? Hi, Ted Anderson from Midas Resources. We all know when a company acts irresponsibly, divesting ourselves in a move towards safety is prudent. When the market becomes volatile, U.S. Treasuries are a safe haven. But what do you do when the U.S. government overextends itself and spends beyond its means? Many investors are turning toward gold as a common-sense alternative to traditional paper investments. Midas Resources has put together a powerful powerful book titled 10 Reasons to Own Gold, discussing costs, benefits, risks, featuring full color illustrations, weights, and measures. The book is free and can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. Paper investments are dwarfed by gold's 6,000-year history. Discover how gold may be right for you and your IRA by calling 800-686-2237. Whether buying or it's time for you to sell, the book is free. Call 800-686-2237.
Captain John Regan's with us, and I wanted to mention that we got a meetup on Monday at Jimmy's Egg, and we're going to be showing a video about America. We're also going to show a movie about money and our perception of money and how it's manipulated and how we think about it. Absolutely fascinating videos, and I want to thank John Dollarhide for making this possible. John Dollarhide is our computer technician, and he owns Dollar Value Computers in Nixa, Missouri, along with his wife. And so they operate this computer manufacturing business, and you get a chance to see them at the Get Prepared Expo, and they're going to be at another expo in a couple of weeks. I'll tell you a little bit more about it as we get a little closer. And they are going to bring our inventory of ProPure water filtration systems to this other event. So if you want to get them at the lowest price in the country, we're going to make them available to you right at this other event. So they will have our inventory of ProPure water filtration systems. And I got a call from the CEO of ProPure yesterday. And it's really kind of nice when you have these relationships with suppliers and manufacturers, and he's interested in USA Prepares, and what's better than being able to talk to the boss, when you're buying their products, and having the boss call you just to make sure everything's good and you don't have any questions, concerns, comments, or suggestions. That's kind of impressive. And all is well with us and ProPure, the same water filtration system that we use here at the farm. And what we're going to do is make them available on the website. Probably over this weekend, I'll get them up, and you'll be able to buy them right from us. And I'm not going to say they're at the lowest price in the country. I won't say that. What I will say is that we're going to sell them at the same price that everybody else does, and we're going to give you a fantastic instant rebate. So if you can read between the lines, you can get them at the same price from us as everybody else, but we're going to give you a big rebate instantly. And it'll be, don't have to do anything, don't have to send anything in, don't have to prove anything, you don't have to wait for a rebate that's not coming. You'll get it right there. Instant rebate, meaning the rebate is built into your price. Pretty cool? That's how we're going to do it. John Regan, back to you.
I've got a couple of big picture items. We have an emergency, and nuke them till they blow. And don't want to spend a lot of time on this. We've been talking about California. Well, the governor there has now ordered a mandatory water restriction after they went out and did their checking of the snowpack, and it's really not good. So he's ordering a 25% reduction, but that only applies to non-agricultural water. So when you look at the scheme of things, that only mandates a 5% reduction in their water usage, which I don't think is going to be near enough. And the nuke 'em till they blow is from a Russian analyst saying that they could use a nuke to set off the Yellowstone supervolcano or the San Andreas Fault. And I have talked to people before about how, if you were a terrorist group and you wanted to destroy America, one of the things you could think about doing is taking a nuke out to Yellowstone. Now, there's a problem in doing that because if you live in the Northern Hemisphere, you're going to experience volcanic winter and that lack of crops. So you're talking about starving a lot of people, not just the United States that way. And the other side of this is there's other technology besides nukes. Scalar weapons would probably do this job better, and you don't even have to actually be there. You can do that from a distance. So just a couple of articles for for your perusal.
John Regan, we think about destruction requiring these massive weapons of of inhumanity. And actually, they're not even necessary. We could be taken down with much less than that. And I'm not going to say how, but literally, for free, 20 people could take down the United States of America for free, and we would be in absolute chaos. And it wouldn't take even a single shot being fired. Not even that. Nothing electronic. Nothing like that. Very, very simple. Anybody could do it. I'm not going to say how, but we're at risk. We'll be right back.
Have you ever noticed how many sick and miserable people there are? I'm serious. I'm talking about people of all ages who have conditions and diseases which affect their quality of life. Most of them seem to have one thing in common: polypharmacy. That is, dependence on multiple prescription drugs with side effects that actually make them sicker and sicker, not healthy. The good news is that people are waking up to the fact that if you supply your body with all of the nutrients it requires, you will feel better, be healthier, and have a better life. It's important to know that Beyond Tangy Tangerine is the most amazing, great tasting, comprehensive nutritional supplement. Besides supplying all the vitamins our bodies need, it also supplies the necessary minerals that are required for the vitamins to kick in. Look, folks, I'm hooked on it, and I think if you try it, you'll become hooked. This stuff really works. That's why I'm urging you to make it part of your daily health regimen. Visit InfoWarsTeam.com to secure your canister of Beyond Tangy Tangerine today. Sign up for auto ship and save on shipping costs. That's Beyond Tangy Tangerine at InfoWarsTeam.com.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 877-345-7645. That's 877-345-7645. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately at 1-877-345-7645. That's 1-877-345-7645. 1-877-345-7645.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right, that's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Everyone. Boy, we're outnumbered and outgunned. Everyone all set, cocked, locked. Here we go. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com. Captain John Regan's with us. And there's an amendment to the Missouri Constitution. And the vote was on August 5th of 2014. And Missourians decided that we have a right to bear arms. Well, actually, we had one before. But Missourians said we have a right to bear arms. So what does that mean? Well, does that mean that you can have a handgun under your sport coat concealed? Yeah, it does. Does it mean that you can have a rifle, pistol, shotgun? Yep, it does. Does it mean that you don't need a concealed carry permit in Missouri to have a concealed Handgun? Yep, it does. So what's the problem? Well, the problem is that a lot of police type people, you know, the blue plague, have set up shop teaching people how to qualify for and take the test for the concealed carry here in Missouri. So they would charge $175, then $150, then $125, and we'd had it with those guys. So we did it for $65 and caused a lot of problems because, well, if USA Prepares can do it for $65, how come you guys are charging so much? So we caused them all kinds of problems, and they didn't like that. Well, now they've had to reduce their price. Now, but they've got this little cottage industry going where they're teaching people how to, you know, how to qualify and how to pass the exam. And you have to sit through 8 hours of classroom activity. And then the sheriff's departments are the guys who have price fixed how much it's going to cost for you to apply once you've taken the class. And they've price fixed it at $100. So now to get this little card that says you can now carry a concealed handgun, you have to go to class and you pay these guys who have set up this cottage industry. You pay your sheriff $100 to fingerprint you, and yeah, you're paying the sheriff to fingerprint you and do a background check on you and then issue this little piece of plastic ID that says you have the right to carry a concealed handgun. Well, since we've had this Missouri Amendment number 5, Missouri Right to Bear Arms, there is no longer a need for you to go to get concealed carry training. You have a right, according to the Missouri Amendment 5 of the Missouri State Constitution. The only problem with this is the sheriffs don't exactly agree. So the sheriffs are saying, well, wait a minute. We've got a whole bunch of people that are going to not be able to earn money because the voters in Missouri decided we're going to have the right to bear arms and we don't need to go to classes. We don't need to pay $100 to the sheriff, and we don't need to renew this every couple of years, 3, 4, 5 years, depending. But the sheriffs think they're in charge. And the sheriffs are saying, well, we're going to have to let the courts sort this out. What? The voters of Missouri said we have the right to bear arms. That's it. That's it. But the sheriffs don't necessarily agree. So now we have a problem with the Missouri Constitution and the sheriffs. Now, the sheriffs are the guys who are supposed to protect us and enforce the Constitution. But they don't necessarily agree. The Constitution seems to be a meaningless document in the eyes of the people whom we have elected to protect and defend it. And as George W. Bush said, it's just a GD piece of paper. And that's how these guys refer to it. As a matter of fact, I won't mention any names, but I was talking to a government type near us. I said, and this guy runs a city. He's in charge of managing the city. I won't mention his name yet, but there'll be plenty of time for me to do this. So this guy says, I said, do you have a copy of the Missouri Constitution? And he said, I don't care about that. We've got our own procedures. Can you imagine? Can you imagine a government type saying that runs a city saying we don't care about the Constitution of the state of Missouri? We do our own thing? That's the problem. And John Regan didn't even have to hit my button. I was just thinking about it. John, it's not, I'm outraged. I'm outraged. And if you look at Sparta Sparta, Missouri, where Bob Estep was tased. It's like, where's our constitutional sheriff? Where is he? Where is he? Well, I don't know where he is. So there are sheriffs who say, well, we're going to do our own thing. It's unbelievable to me that these guys have their own dominions and they want to enforce the rules as they seem to think the rules are. It doesn't matter what's written. It doesn't matter what the voters say. And then you think about, why should you even vote? So many of us think that the vote's rigged. And if you vote for something and they don't like it, they don't enforce it anyway. Never reelect anybody. I don't care if you think your guy's good. Never reelect anyone. Never reelect anyone. Vote for anybody but the guy who's in office. Anybody. I think we would have better representation if anybody was in office rather than the guy we've got now. Whoever that guy is now, or that girl, whoever that guy or girl is, anybody would be better. And you hear about Ron Paul, right? Ron Paul, what a good guy he was going to be. Where the heck is Ron Paul? Give us money, money bomb, money bomb. We need money, money bomb. We give him a money bomb and he walks away with the money bomb. That's Ron Paul. Okay. While I'm on a roll, I want to talk about manufactured evidence. Now, I was talking to a person who got a speeding ticket. Now, the radar gun, and this is my version of it. This is pretty close to it, but for purposes of illustration. So this person's driving along at 55 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone. Cop points at him, clicks the radar gun, boom. Radar gun says 55. Cop follows him just a short distance where the speed limit is now 35. So the speed limit goes from 55 to 35. Cop clocks him at 55 and at 55, pulls him over into 35, says, "You know how fast you're going? I got you at 55. No kidding. No kidding. Because it was a 55 mile an hour zone. So the cop gives him a ticket for 15 over. What a cool trap, right? This is the kind of stuff that's going on. This is the blue plague that I talk about. And I tell you what, I keep hearing people say 95% of us, or 95% of the cops are good. Really? Does anyone believe that? When was the last time you saw a cop change somebody's tire? When? When was the last time you saw a cop say, "Ma'am, your taillight's out, but I'll tell you what you can do"? You know what a Phillips screwdriver is, right, ma'am? Okay. What you do is you take that Phillips screwdriver and you unscrew these right here. Right here. This is where you unscrew it, and this lens will come off. Right below that is right beneath that is the bulb. And you can buy those at the auto parts store. You pay a little more there, or you can go to the Chinese factory outlet if you want to participate in commerce with them. You can get that bulb for 97 cents. Now, don't touch it with your fingers, because the oil on your fingers or that hand cream will make that bulb wear out faster. But what you do is you hold it with an unscented Kleenex, and you put the bulb in that it's a bayonet type. You push it in, twist it. It will lock into place. And for 97 cents, you're good to go. And I'm not going to give you a ticket because I don't think you knew that your taillight was out. But I do want you not to have a rear end collision with somebody running into you because they can't see your taillights out. So that's what you do, ma'am. When was the last time you saw somebody do that? I've never seen a cop do that. So they're in the ticket business. So when I hear that 95% of the cops are good, I go, are you kidding me? Are you serious? Really? Cops are different from firemen. Cops walk around with guns looking for problems. They got a badge and a gun and a taser and handcuffs and mace, pepper spray. Firemen walk around with fire hoses and fire extinguishers and want to put out problems. Cops are looking for problems. Back to you, John Regan.
And when we come back, we'll take on the safe topic of spy tech.
Oh, man. Oh, jeez. I'm Vincent Finelli of USAPrepares.com. As most of you know, I broadcast weekday mornings on GCN from 9 to 11. And I'm also a full-time farmer. Add to that mix the weekly meetups and the Get Prepared Expo, and this combination makes for a demanding schedule. On the farm, we raise grass-fed Black Angus cattle and provide them with the best variety of summer and fall grasses available. Our cattle are exposed to the extremes of weather, the toxins in the air, and the electromagnetic radiation that's all around us. So even the best grasses and food that we provide are not enough. Our cattle require minerals and supplements for strong health and resistance to disease. And so do we. For these reasons, my mother, our children, Mrs. Finelli, and I all take longevity beyond Tangy Tangerine, De-Stress, Glucogel, and EFA Plus. USAPreparesTeam.com. And thank you for being in class today.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey guy at goberkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey guy.
Captain John Regan is with us, the financial stateoftheunion.com. And, Joey came by the farm over the weekend, and it was great right after the expo. And Joey is a researcher for USA Prepares and Dr. Richard Allen Miller and others. And he brought me this sign, and it says, "Enter as strangers, leave as friends." Absolutely true, Joey. Thank you so much. And Joey bought me some interesting things that I'm going to hang in the studio. I'll tell you more about them, over the next few broadcasts. But it's really wonderful to have reminders of your friends, and that's what we have in the studio, including the no whining hand painted sign from our 6th grade class, Grace Thorne's Ryan, Oklahoma 6th grade class. So I see these every day when I come in the studio. We've got Mark in Pennsylvania. Mark in Pennsylvania, welcome to USA Prepares.
Hello, Vinny and Captain John. I just call in a long-time listener on YouTube mainly, and thankful that we have that available. Sorry I couldn't make the expo this year, but hopefully next year. And I just had a couple of questions.
We'd love to see him.
I just had a couple of questions.
We'd love to see it.
One was on the water filtration systems you mentioned the other day, when they will be available on your website to purchase.
Okay. Well, that should be this weekend. And, the expo is so taxing on us because we don't get any sleep for about 2 weeks, literally 2 weeks before the expo. And then we have a farmhouse full of our friends. And so we don't get much sleep then. So after the expo, I actually, crash for a couple days. And, so this weekend is when I will post on the website the ProPure water filtration systems, and the ProPure filters. So you can buy the filters, you can buy the plugs, and you can buy the completed units, and we'll ship them to you. And what's really nice about that is if you if you live outside of Missouri, you will not pay tax. Pretty cool. So we're delighted to do that. And the prices that we will be selling them for is the same price that everyone else sells them for. But you get an instant rebate. I don't know how to say it any other way. They don't want me to sell them for less than the factory recommended price. So we're going to sell them for the same price that everybody else does, but we're going to give you an instant rebate. So that will be available after this weekend. And by the way, I really think that ProPure is a great water filtration system, and that's the one that we use here at the farm. Now, we used to use another brand. And I still have the other brand. And if you want, you can replace the other brand's filter with a ProPure filter. And it's a drop-in replacement. So you can get the fluoride removal and the great water filtration as well, and a silver-infused filter all in one. And you can just pop that right into any other brand or the other brands. So for me, I'm really happy with the ProPure water filtration system, but that doesn't mean you have to not use the other brand canisters. Just consider replacing the other filters with the ProPure filter. It's similar in size.
Hey, Vince, is it possible that I don't know if it's on, I haven't seen it on your website, that you can put a link to where you get Nixol as well?
Yeah, I can. And, we had cases of Nixol available at the lowest price in the country. Nixol is, they're in Nixa, Missouri. So I will put a link to, Milo Carter. I'll call Milo Carter this weekend. He's our, pathogens expert. He is our, USA Prepares instructor for pathogens and detoxification and, analyte water. So I will do that. I'll be glad to do that. We'll make that happen. As a matter of fact, one of the things I want to do at USA Prepares is build a store. We have no income. I mean, we just do this as a public service, and it would really be kind of nice to be able to pay some of our bills, from the broadcast. So what I'm going to do is build a store, on the internet, right at USA Prepares. And if you want to buy water filtration systems, we'll have them. If you want to buy spigots, we'll have them. And of course, we're going to be the website that others complain about because of pricing. So we will have some really neat products. By the way, and diatomaceous earth. So if you have some products that you think that we should consider selling at a discount, I'd love to hear about it. That's Vincent at USA Prepares. Mark, thanks so much for calling.
Thank you. Bye.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 877-345-7645. That's 877-345-7645. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately at 1-877-345-7645. That's 1-877-345-7645. 1-877-345-7645.
By now, you may have heard a bit about Bitcoins. But did you know Bitcoins are now over an $8.5 billion market? And did you know that over 65,000 businesses now accept Bitcoins? Listen, if you're already earning Bitcoins or trying to make money in the Bitcoin market, you've got to know bidbit.co. Why? Because bidbit.co is where you can easily receive Bitcoins by selling and auctioning off your own personal items or promote business products and services for Bitcoins. You heard right. Whether personal or business, you can now buy, sell, and auction your product and services quickly, easily, and securely for Bitcoin at bidbit.co, the first and only marketplace website to offer BidBit Escrow, a proprietary technology which gives buyers and sellers security and peace of mind because all transactions are protected. Start today. It's free to join, free to post, free to auction, and free to bid at bidbit.co. Buy, sell, bid, or auction everything Bitcoin. That's www.bidbit.co. Bidbit.co.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right, that's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
Wow, class. 2 hours with John Regan goes really, really, really fast. I can't believe it. So let's do another 2 hours today, John. What do you think?
Why not?
Yeah, John Regan and I are going to do 2 hours today at 2 o'clock on Truth Frequency Radio. And if you'd like to listen, that's Truth Frequency Radio. There's a link on the website. Listen, when you go to USA Prepares, you click listen to Vincent. And John Regan and Aaron Dakins and I will be spending 2 hours together, 2 o'clock Central Time to 4 o'clock Central. And you can listen right on the internet. John, I got a message from one of our instructors, Kyle Harris, in Montana, and he wanted to make sure that we let everyone know that you can also listen to emergency information and world events and information across the country via shortwave radio. You can, absolutely. You can buy a relatively inexpensive shortwave radio. So I went to eBay, and I looked up a shortwave radio that I have right here in the studio, and mine is like a 1964 era. It's a tube powered shortwave radio made by Hallicrafters, 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 and the one I have is a model S-120, S-120. And when it was brand new, it sold for $69.95 back in 1964. I bought mine used for about, I think, $35 to $50. It works really well. And you can buy them on eBay right now for, let's say, $40 to $135, somewhere around there. So you want to get one that works if you can. It's tube powered. It is EMP proof. So if there's an EMP, it will not affect this particular tube-powered radio. The smaller the radios, the more integrated circuits it has, the more susceptible it is to electromagnetic pulses. So that's it for a little piece on communications and reception. And John Regan, back to you.
I guess in today's highly regulated environment, I need to give a disclaimer here. The category of spy tech may result in the pushing of any buttons.
You can guarantee that, can't you?
I've got 3 articles today. I've called them call tracking, low power equals longer spying, and hyperspectral imaging. The first one talks about a device that's going to be available coming in December that gives you a 10-minute warning for when you need to take a bathroom break and also keeps daily stats. So I can just imagine this put into use in corporate America. So, getting called in the office. Mary, you've been making too many personal calls. And I haven't been on the phone. No, we're talking about your bathroom breaks.
Well, yeah, because it's right here. Let me show you the report.
So
yeah. Well, not only have you been taking too many, but look at the duration of each one. Just look at this one. This one was like 7 minutes. Mary, come on. What are you doing? How about fiber? More fiber, Mary. We got to get production up here.
but the problem is that when you're being surveilled like that, you may just go to hold it. Well, since it knows that you need to go, you can imagine that this discussion. Okay, Phil, you haven't been taking your breaks, so we know you've been holding it, and that's not good for your health and will cause our insurance rates to go up. So we're going to have to let you go.
It doesn't all seem that far-fetched because in California, we were talking about water, right? In California, there are those who have been watering their lawns to make them look good because the covenants and the deed restrictions say that you will maintain your lawn or you'll be fined, right? You need to be in compliance, so you'll have to have a green lawn, and then you get fined for having a green lawn because you're not complying with the water reduction mandates. So what do you do? So now you just say, we'll just get some black plastic and we'll put pebbles on the lawn. So now we won't have a lawn. It'll be pebbles, these stones, these tiny stones, and we'll rake them over where the lawn used to be. That way we'll be in compliance and we won't have the fines for watering our lawns. I mean, this is nuts. Absolutely nuts. The government can't figure out what it's doing. That's why I have such little respect for so many people in government that just don't understand what they're trying to do. And they don't, and you know what? Okay. Since you mentioned this, I'm going to go really fast. So manufactured evidence, we talked about that. So I got in a discussion with a college student and he said he got a ticket. He got a ticket for $10. Why? Because his parking hang tag was in the wrong place. Now, you hang this on the mirror, but the hang part of the hang tag broke off, like everybody else's broke off because they're poorly designed. So then he says to the security guy, okay, now what do I do? Because I can't hang it because there's no hanger part. And the security guy says, okay, stick it in your windshield in the lower left-hand corner. He goes, okay. So he gets a ticket because the guidebook, the regulations say it has to be taped there. So now what we're doing is he didn't have tape. So what do you do when the hang tag breaks and you go, geez, I got everything in my preparedness kit except tape. So he doesn't have tape. He can't tape it to the window. He puts it in the window, gets a ticket for $10 because he didn't tape it in this exact spot. What I'm saying is we are getting to the point where it's not the intent of the regulations. It's the letter of the regulations. We are spinning out of control. So I gave this young person some advice on how to fight this. And if it does not prevail, we're going to go after these guys. We're going to expose them. So that's how this works. Back to you, John Regan.
Well, there's more low-power chips coming out. And this one firm says that it will extend battery life in gadgets to decades between charges. And the power is so low that it can even harvest energy from body heat. So imagine with the Internet of Things, all this spy technology out there that, in your logical thinking, you think, well, even if they plant this on your car or something, that battery is going to wear out within, a matter of days. Well, not so anymore. And if this is what they are saying in public, you can only imagine what they have in the black ops world.
You're right, because heat is a form of energy. There's no question about that. So why not use heat to create electrical energy? You're absolutely on target with this, John. So all I have to do is put it near the engine. There's plenty of heat there, right? Just near the engine, near the radiator, near the tailpipe. So now we have an almost, I wouldn't say infinite, but I would say long-lasting battery charger that we didn't even think of, which is heat. Of course, if you have a black vehicle or a dark-colored vehicle, just the outer skin of that vehicle will attract, will be hot based on the sunlight. So yeah, what a great idea. Who thinks of this stuff? I think energy from heat is, or using heat energy is a great way to go. But who thinks of having these devices to track us? And it seems like more and more the plan is to track our every movement, our purchases through credit card transactions, through magnetic or readable stripes in currency, facial recognition, telephone calls. And I'm really delighted that this is the end of the Apple iPhone for the Finelli family. And I keep hearing the same things. Got to have them for emergencies. Really? Do we really? I don't think we do. I really don't think we have to have cell phone communications for emergencies. And not in my world. And I'll let you know if I'm wrong. But I can't wait to dump this Apple Pocket spy device. I can't wait to dump it. I really can't. What else do you have in spy tech, John?
Well, the good news is this next device does not track you.
That's nice to know.
It's being compared to the tricorder from Star Trek, and the company, apparently from Israel, as far as unveiled, and it's called hyperspectral imaging, where it essentially takes a picture of an object, and they say they have a 99% accuracy rate, and you get the results in 10 seconds. So whatever you're carrying can, or your car, or you name it, they can tell what the composition is in no time at all.
Now, when you say composition, are you saying you kind of like take a picture of this thing with this equipment, this electronic equipment, and they'll say, that's a glass. Or if you take a picture of a token, some people might call them coins. If you take a picture of a U.S. token, they'll say, that is a piece of copper-clad zinc, also known as a penny. Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, they have a picture on the in the article here where it's taking a picture of a glass of alcohol, and it breaks down, so much water, ethanol, sugar, peat, malt, grain, or and I'll tie this in a little bit with one of the articles under control. Think about what's on your money, not just the amount of it, as you alluded to earlier, but we're going to be talking about that bacteria, and then there's also the drug residue on it. Imagine this technology is saying, okay, you've been exposed to drugs here, and no telling what the penalty will be for that.
Yeah, so let's turn these over to the Blue Plague and see how how they can use them for revenue enhancement. I'm just wondering, John, if we took a picture, came out to the farm, and we took a picture of this pile of cow manure, right? I wonder if it would say politician. Boy, 2 hours goes fast with you. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is DeRay, suffering from migraines, having Botox injections in my head and neck to alleviate pain, costing $1,500 out of my pocket. I discovered Dr. Ortman and Gentle Touch chiropractic adjustment called Nuka. I'm migraine-free since my first adjustment. Thanks for giving me my life back, Dr. Ortman. I wish they prescribed you instead of Botox.
Thanks, DeRay. Putting the bones back in place is only half of the solution. We design a nutritional supplement program the body can handle, actually absorb, providing nutrients, targeting the problem area. Between Nuka and nutrition, we will have you on the road to a faster and more permanent recovery. Look us up on the web at drortman.com or call 952-303-9124. Let us help you feel better faster. Wellspring Spinal Care at 952-303-9124. Again, that's 952-303-9124. Or on the web at drortman.com.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right, that's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100 foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average over 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
Yeah. And Captain John Regan. Hey, John, I just got off the phone with Craig Douglas, and Craig Douglas is our radiation detection instructor. And he decided that he was going to sell freeze-dried food, Mountain House, Wise, and he was going to sell it at great prices, the lowest prices in the country, at the Get Prepared Expo. So I called him during the break, just now, and I said, "Hey, Craig, how's it going? Just want to see, if you're okay, and you're traveling safely and all that stuff." And he said, "Hey, Vincent, I just did the numbers. I sold more food at the Get Prepared Expo than any other expo." Pretty cool, huh?
Yep.
Pretty cool. Now, he didn't sell it for the most profit. Well, because, we had a big sale. But he never sold more food at an event than the Get Prepared Expo. And somebody else came up to me, John, and said, "How do you guys sell so many water filtration systems?" Well, I guess we know what we're doing. For one thing, that would be John and Judy Dollarheight, who help us with that. They know what they're doing. And we have the lowest prices in the country. So you do that, you combine that with the Get Prepared Expo, which is huge, and it's a no-brainer, right? It's just diligence. It's paying attention to detail. It's offering products at the lowest price in the country and being able to discuss the pros and the cons, the advantages and the disadvantages. So that's how we do it. That's how we do it. And I just got off the phone with a company that has DE for sale, diatomaceous earth. And we're going to work out an arrangement where we sell diatomaceous earth on the website at USA Prepare. So you'll be able to buy that too. So we're building a store. So if you have a product that you think we should carry, that's a fantastic product that we can offer at the lowest price in the country, we're interested. And maybe that would, then we don't need sponsors. We'll just do it here internally, okay, by offering you great products at great prices. John Regan, back to you.
I have 2 articles under control, Speed Trap and It's For Your Health. We've already talked a little bit about It's For Your Health. And recently we talked about how IBM is developing the blockchain, in other words, Bitcoin type technology for countries to use. So you can just imagine they come out and say, that money has all this bacteria. It's dangerous for your health. So we're going to go to this e-dollar. Of course, everything there is tracked. And if this one doesn't push your button, I'll be concerned. Speed Trap talks about how Australian police hiding in the woods to catch speeders. So, you
waiting for me to ignite?
You don't even get to see them. And then you combine this with what some other countries are doing, where the fine is based on a combination of how fast you're going and how much money you make. So one of the examples they say is there was this fine of over $100,000 for going 47 miles per hour in a 31 mile per hour zone. And that was based, that really wasn't that big of a speed, but because, this guy was an executive, made big bucks, they fined him big bucks. Vincent?
John, that happened to me. Not that I make big bucks, but there was a state cop hiding on private property with a radar gun at a time at night. It was dark, it was foggy, and he was hiding at night, and he just picked me off. However, he really picked somebody off going downhill. I was going up this long hill, and he picked me off, but I had out-of-state tags. And he picked me off, and he gave me a ticket, I think 74 and a 55. And it was a massive ticket. And I said, okay, I've got a couple questions, or one question. What are you doing on private property with your lights off sniping? He said, it's policy. It's policy. Who's? The sergeants. Oh, really? What's his name? And I said, I'm going to talk about you now until the disposition of this ticket. I'm going to talk about you every day. And I'm on a pretty big radio station in Springfield, Missouri. And you're going to be famous. And you know what? My ticket never materialized. So these guys, they've been sniping in the United States. It's policy. It's policy. So that means it's okay. It's not okay. It's not okay. Is he out there helping people? No. He's sniping. These guys are in ticket contests. The blue plague. You're wondering if you hit my button? Yes. Jeez. Hey, John Regan and I'll be back 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock for 2 more hours with Aaron Dakins of The Truth Traveler. And we're going to be on Truth Frequency Radio. Truth Frequency Radio. 2 o'clock today, 2 to 4 Central. John Regan, thanks so much. Above all, honesty.
Attention taxpayers. If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 877-345-7645. That's 877-345-7645. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately at 1-877-345-7645. That's 1-877-345-7645. 1-877-345-7645.
There's a man named Dr. Joel Wallach who is anything but your typical doctor, both a veterinarian and naturopathic physician. Doc asks, why does the United States spend more money on healthcare by far and still rank 50th in health and longevity worldwide? He believes that people should empower themselves with a basic understanding of nutrition, take charge of their health, and attain optimal health and longevity through nutrition, not by toxic prescription drugs that lead to side effects and more toxic prescription drugs. drugs. Doc Wallach's message is resonating with an increasing number of Americans who are waking up to all the big government, big pharma, and big insurance manipulation of our healthcare system. I'm George Norrie, and I like what Doc Wallach is saying and doing to enlighten people about health care. Visit brightsideben.com and listen to Doc Wallach's Deadly Recipes lecture. It makes a lot of sense, and I urge you to join the Brightside Ben team. Go to brightsideben.com.